Well, welcome everybody. I am excited. I am Kathy Nelson from the Photo Managers, once again bringing a B&H event series webinar to the B&H audience, which has been a great audience because most of you love anything to do with photos, stories, videos, and all of the fun things that are around anything in the field of photography. And that's why I'm excited about today's presentation, because as the CEO and the founder of the Photo Managers, we get to meet amazing companies that are starting up. Not all of them are startups, but a lot of times they are creating new technology, new ways to solve the problems that all of us have, which is probably way too many photos and videos, way too not knowing what to do with it all, the desire to create a legacy, pass down the stories, the photos that matter, and not keep track of all of the ones that don't. And so I'm excited to introduce you three really amazing companies today and to share with you what they've created and to spark your interest in learning more about them. So the first person that I'm going to introduce you to is Robert Marks. He created a great product called Projector, which really fits beautifully in the home movie space. It's something new to the market, never seen before. We, as the Photo Managers, have worked closely with Robert and his team to help them, improve the product. And so I'm going to let Robert take it from here and show you a little video because it will speak a lot better.
Well, thank you, Kathy. I played this video. I have a friend in video production, and I said, make me a video that's 50 seconds or less that explains my product. And sure enough, he went exactly 50 seconds. So I guess it took him that much time. So I'm going to share this and play it, and then we can discuss.
Ready, go, go!
Turn your home videos into cherished memories with Projector, the only streaming app where you're the star of every show. Projector is a video streaming service that works just like Netflix for your home movies. You can watch with ease in just a few clicks on your smart TV, just like your favorite streaming services. Projector makes your home movies and photos easy to view and easy to share with family members across the globe. Go to projectorstream.com to create your account. You can also upload content from your mobile device by downloading the Projector mobile app. Download the Projector app on your smart TV today. Available on Amazon Fire, Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, LG, and Samsung Smart TVs.
There you go.
All right. There you go.
So you can tell Projector is Netflix for your home movies. That was a real live Apple TV where it's an app that sits like Netflix and Disney Plus and Max and Hulu. That's actually my real family. That was my real dog. And, I have a lot of home movies that were previously analog that I've converted to digital. I have a ton of obviously new since 2009, 10 digital movies, and I had no way to enjoy them. And yet you give anyone in my family the remote, 3 clicks, we're watching TV. Why couldn't we enjoy our home movies? Because we're not going to sit around our computer and my phone and ever enjoy them. Now we can.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And what's great about each of these the different stories I think each person will tell you about is, how does somebody start a business, right? How do companies get started? Usually they see a need and then they find a way to fill it. So tell us, Robert, how did you first see that need? And then what were some of the steps that got you to create a movie streaming app?
So I'm not a hobby person, but if I do have a hobby, it is home movies and home photos. My wife was the photographer with the fancy Nikon cameras, and I always had the camcorder or eventually the iPhone. And it frustrated me for decades that I had all this collection of home movies, even before we had MP4 files, before we had hard drives. It's never been easy to watch. And I've tried so many solutions. And it occurred to me about 4 years ago, we cut the cord, we got rid of cable, we stream everything. And my family will sit in front of a TV with the remote and boom, a few clicks, and we subscribe to every service, I think, that's known from a TV streaming app. Why couldn't we have our own videos that way? And whether we have a TV in any room or in any property, or my kids who now are spread across the country, my mom's retired in Florida, she streams too. She's got a Roku TV down in Naples, Florida. She watches Netflix. She watches Mrs. Maisel on Amazon Prime Video. Why can't she watch my home movies? And my vision was also, and if you saw that in the video, that it looks and feels like a video streaming app. It has the same functionality, the 15-second skip either way, resume watching, how you navigate. So it's not just like trying to find something. Netflix, we all can find whatever we want in about 3 seconds. Why can't it work the same way? So I came up with the idea, never did software development before in my life, never was in a consumer type product, nothing in photography or videography, but I am an entrepreneur. I've started many companies over the last 35 years. And as the pandemic hit, and I realized nothing like this exists, that Netflix viewing experience for home movies. Sure, we have social media, and sure, we can go to our computer and click on a file or try and find it in our phone and scroll. Nothing like it existed, and I just felt it had to be done.
Yeah, I have to be as a consumer of projector during the holidays, during Christmas, we had finally gotten our home movies up there, and it was really fun. We had a lot of fun. We found some like real highlights buried in the, usually you go right, I think, to the birthday parties or the celebrations, but what was more fun was to see some of the videos that were done without any planning of anybody really probably rewatching them. And I tell a story of my son, my husband doing a room makeover with my daughter when she was like 8, who was a real messy kid. And actually, we could look at her now at 26 and say, some things haven't changed, but there was just this really great video of him, filming her and then stopping the video and then kind of cleaning the room a little bit more, and then filming a little bit more. And it was just a delightful experience to relive those memories with my, with my adult daughter. So it was really great to be sitting there, everybody in the living room with the remote watching something like that. So if the people have questions for me to ask Robert, go ahead and drop in the chat. I came up with a few that I think you might be interested in knowing too, is that, what challenges did you have to overcome to create such a app that nobody else has done before?
Well, this was where I was very naive, so it's a great question. How hard could it be? You go to a website, you'll upload your videos, you'll design your video streaming app with some cool categories. Disney Plus has Star Wars and Pixar. I'll have birthdays and vacations. And then we'll develop TV apps and put it on a TV app. You'll download the TV app. You'll log on like Netflix. It's easy. Nothing can be further from the truth. Whether you're developing an app for the Apple TV or developing an app for Amazon Fire or Samsung Smart TV, beyond complicated. No one's ever done this before. I'm kind of a combination of YouTube, where you can upload, Netflix, where you can stream, Dropbox, where you can store, and it all has to come into one thing, and it has to be user-friendly so a user can do it. So what I thought would take 6 to 8 months took over 2 years to develop. Every platform is different, and I have to be on every platform. Some people have Google TV. Some people have LG Smart TVs. People love their Rokus, and I actually love the Roku. So I had to develop it, and I'm on 10 platforms if you include the website. And then we had to have mobile apps so you could upload your new content into Projector. And while I thought Projector in the beginning would just be for videos, I realized I have 100 gigabytes of photos. And even the smartest techie people in the world don't really know or have a good way to play slideshows on their TV. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I can upload hundreds of photos from a vacation to Aruba and play it as a slideshow using Projector so that it could play a slideshow like a Netflix movie. So I decided I'm going to do that. So Projector can not only play home videos, it can also play slideshows. My 84-year-old retired former social worker mother can play a slideshow on her TV, and most tech people can't do that. So all that was very complicated. And then once you get it developed, you actually get it to work, you have to distribute it. Because if I built this just for my family, it would not be cost justifiable. We'd have a choice, have a home or have a video streaming service. So I have to sell it to other people and get other subscribers so that we can, make it a sustainable business. And that's where we're at now. We officially launched December 1st. And now it's the big lift of getting users, because we need thousands of users to make this a household thing that people like you who enjoyed it over Christmas, my family did the same thing, can enjoy it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, now comes the next thing. And what kind of responses have you gotten from customers? I mean, I was just one, but I'm sure you've heard many different stories and things.
The testimonials are amazing. People are getting it. There's just one woman who literally had a 35 millimeter home video of her mother's wedding from 1939, and it sat in a can. A member of your photo managers converted it to a digital file, uploaded it to Projector. Now this 83-year-old woman sits there, and I think the first day she watched her parents' wedding 5 times. We now have subscribers on 4 continents, over 14 countries. We just got our first subscriber in Colombia. I mean, that's crazy that I'm sitting here. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. There's people all over Northern America and Canada. all over the world, throughout Asia, throughout Europe, who are enjoying it, and the testimonials are rolling in. And that's what we just need to keep that going. So people are loving it. We've made home movies finally accessible. And if you really ask yourself the question, were they accessible when it was reel to reel? Were they accessible on VHS or CD or thumb drive or hard drive? Not really. Now people are enjoying their home movies. So of course, it's life-changing to them.
Yeah. And also current videos, right? I mean, so many people still take current videos today. I do. I mean, I'm amazed how often, when my cat and dog are fighting in the, I don't just snap a photograph, right? I'm always going to grab a little video and things like that. And I could, if I wanted to put that up there, I could. Or my great niece was just born, and it's so funny. And I got what did I get? Not a photograph. I just got a video of her kind of, grunting for the first, hour or two of her life. And all of that can go in projector as well, right?
Absolutely. In fact, I'm doing that all the time. I'm in the Apple ecosystem, so I use Apple Photos, so I can create movies that are a combination of photos and videos, put them in the music, and I can make a 2023 highlight video. Or obviously we just took a family vacation to Italy in October. That became a 7-minute movie that I put the music, put it up on projector, and boom, we're watching it. And the same goes for slideshows. We're uploading the photos and playing slideshows on our TV. And what's really fun is sometimes projector won't be used for a few weeks, but then I'll come home and my wife's playing a slideshow of that Italy trip, or she's playing an old 2-hour videotape that we converted from 1997 that she just plays on the family room TV that she would never have access to do. So it's new, it's old, it's everything. And we really made it's for the user to be as creative as they want to enjoy it. Whether it's capturing 10 minutes of a video that they took in 2001 or play the whole 1-hour tape that was on, which is kind of what you talked about, just kind of enjoying random moments. My family loves playing all my former video transfers and let them going for an hour or two.
Yeah. In fact, and I meant to reach out to you, but I had a conversation with a fellow yesterday who's created another product that's not here, but we might call Memento, which is a really interesting voice capturing act to turn something into a photo book. But his story, though, was about home movies. His father was killed on one of the 9/11 planes that was flying into through Pennsylvania. And when they asked him to, the family, he was only 10, to provide some photos for the memorial services, for the memorial museum kind of services, they didn't have any photos. His dad only did video. And so he had hundreds and hundreds of hours of videos of himself as from the first 10 years of his life. And it was a very moving story about knowing his dad, how he didn't lose touch with his dad because of all those videos. And I thought I could introduce you to Robert, but it was a really moving reminder again of the value of, whether it's photos, videos, and things, and connecting people with family members and things. So any last moments, anything else you'd like to share before we switch over to our next person?
Yeah, I just like the show based on that story. So projector, and again, it looks like a video streaming app. Here's my daughter. You can see her college graduation. You can also see her first birthday and her crawl. But for my father as well, I created a category. My last name is Marks, and I created the category called Classic Marks, where I put all his stuff in there, and you can click on it and you can see all these fun videos. And, for that gentleman whose father was on Flight 93 that crashed in Shanksville, he can create certain areas of projector just for them. So there's so many things. Some people are making categories called 1970s, 1980s, 1990s. I like it more thematic with special occasions and birthdays and stuff. But there's so many things you could do to help, preserve the past, but also enjoy the future. And one thing I would say, I have 4 grown children now. Nothing makes them laugh more than watching old movies themselves, and projector brings that out.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Robert. People, there's connections there, how you can reach projector. If you have questions, we're going to have plenty of time at the end also to ask questions. So go ahead and drop them on the Q&A. And thanks so much, Robert. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up is a company that has been around a little bit longer, which is a wonderful company called Permanent. And Amanda is here to share with us about Permanent. And so can you tell us, why don't we just start with, tell us what is the vision and mission of Permanent?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kathy. I'm really excited to talk a little bit about Permanent. And the mission and vision for Permanent is pretty straightforward. So Permanent Legacy Foundation exists to help anyone and everyone preserve their legacies for future generations. So we are the only nonprofit 501c3 dedicated to long-term preservation of our materials. And we really strive to make this program and platforms accessible to as many people as we can. So yeah, we use a lot of archival and museum industry focused development practices, and are really interested in getting people on the web platform as well as our mobile platforms, and just getting people to make preservation their practice.
Yeah, and I think showing us an example of it in a minute will really help people to have a vision of what the concept. And what I love about Permanent is that it allows, you can upload different photos, videos, also letters and things like that. And also there's opportunities to make it private, also public. And the fact that you're actually buying the storage that you're buying is actually as a donation, a foundational donation, right? Which is a very unique approach.
Yeah, one of the things that really sets us apart from other storage providers is that you pay per gigabyte, and then you have that gigabyte for life and beyond. So your $10 that pays for 1 gigabyte actually pays for the storage fees indefinitely. So yeah, we're committed to long-term preservation, like I said. So that means that we will migrate these files as technology changes, and as who knows what technology is going to be doing in 100 years, but we've made that commitment to preserving materials for the long run.
Yeah. What challenges have you had to overcome in the process? And
that's a great question. I think one of the bigger challenges that we face pretty consistently is like distinguishing ourselves from other cloud storage providers, our other archival platforms. And one of the ways that I think we really do that is in our mission for long-term preservation. It's in our pricing model. It's also in how we work with nonprofit organizations to provide free storage for smaller organizations who wouldn't otherwise have that storage and that ability to do community archiving. So not only are we working with like family genealogists, individuals, artists, families, but we are also working with like small museums, libraries, archives, community centers, activist organizations, to really help them preserve their collective histories with their communities. And so that, I think, does set us apart from other types of services that we get a lot of questions like, well, how are you different from forever.com or Dropbox? And that is kind of the difference. We are truly mission driven.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a big difference. I think the nonprofit piece, or the fact that you're giving back to, smaller museums or community, because the legacy of, say a small, town, local museum, right, of one museum in one town in the world, really it matters, but they don't have the funding, and people aren't probably donating for that kind of legacy collection to be kept. But so I think it's a great mission that you all have. And what are customers' response been to your any kind of testimonials or ways that customers have responded?
Yeah, I mean, we have about 6,000 members on our site, and we get a lot of feedback from our members about the product, and we incorporate feedback constantly. So if people are like, I wish this thing worked a little bit better, we will listen to that and like integrate it into our roadmap. We get a lot of feedback around the value of making connections with family and friends and people who are separated by time and distance, and just the value of being able to collaborate on an archive and pull each individual's disparate materials together into one archive is a really powerful thing that can really help people see a full story and a full history of their family, for example. So it's really nice. in that regard, in the connection piece. And that's probably the thing that most of our members who have shared feedback with us do share. And then with the nonprofits and small organizations that we work with, we get a lot of feedback about how valuable that is, because they just so often have either no expertise or bandwidth in digital archiving and or no budget for it. And so we're able to provide that, and it really helps them set themselves up for like long-term sustainability and transferring of institutional knowledge and community history and such.
Yeah. Can you, will you share with us? Why don't we take a look at, show us a family archive through Permanent, because you have to see it to really understand it also, right?
Yes, I think that is true. So this isn't a family archive. I chose an archive, one of our test archives that focuses on photographs, and the astronomy photo of the day archive is really fun to look at. So that's what I am sharing. And this is the back end. This is what it looks like when you're in your archive. And when you sign up for an account, you get a free gigabyte of storage so that you can get started right away. And a gigabyte goes a long way. So even if you have 500 photos, you already have enough storage to collect and save those photos. I'm talking about like, your kind of average photos that you would have on your cell phone. Not super high res, but yeah. So once you have an archive or an account, then you have as many archives as you'd like. You can create a family archive, an art archive, an archive for a specific person in your family who has maybe passed away. And yeah, so that's a little bit about just the general account information. And then once you have your archive, you have a lot of ways that you can collaborate with other people. So one thing that you mentioned, Kathy, is making your archive public or private. You have the option to do that with your profile as well. We really prioritize privacy and data security. So that's something to keep in mind. We want to encourage public archives, because one of the benefits of having them is expanding everyone's worldviews, just giving people a chance to learn about others. And so you can do that. You can also make archive connections. So that means like if your cousin has an archive and you want to connect to them, you can do that through this portal. You are able to add archive members to any archive that you own, and you can be the owner. You can have multiple managers. There's only one owner. You can have editors, and you can have viewers. So you really control the access to your materials through the archive members. And then you also have archive settings. And this is where you can manage tags and metadata. And I forgot to mention that some of us on the permanent team come from libraries and archives and museum backgrounds. So we are very nerdy about metadata, and we love, that's another area that I think a lot of our members really enjoy, is just the ability to add metadata, because it's so important in giving your files context for the future. So looking at a photo of the moon landing, you would never necessarily know that that's what you were looking at without metadata, or without that cultural context that you already know from, just being in the world. But for many photos and materials, you need that context. And this, that allows you to also go into, here's the custom metadata. That's another feature that people really love, where you can create your own fields and then tags that go with them. And the last thing that I'll mention, which I don't have permission to because I'm not an owner, only owners can set the archive steward, but we have legacy planning, and that allows you to pass your archive down to someone else in your family, someone else in your business, whatever it is. And yeah, so the default on permanent is to have private archives, private files, and then you are able to make those files public at any point. We have a public gallery. I'm going to quickly show you just one example. So you have high quality images, you have your description, it's all able to be edited right in here. And then you have your tags and your metadata. And this is all very customizable. You can add a location, you can download the file, etc.
Yeah, that's the other, you can download, files. So if you put, if you decide to change it, you can just quickly download the materials that you've uploaded and things, right? And would the tags stay with it or the metadata that you've put on it from
Permanent?
Yeah.
That's actually something that we're working on right now, but as it is, it's not embedded in the file. Yeah, but we are working on bulk metadata and batch uploading. So yeah, and we do have SFTP, which is secure file transfer, which will allow you to add all of your materials someplace locally on your computer and then upload it all at once. So it's already organized. And we always recommend people to save things in 3 different places, including on Permanent. That's preservation best practices. So yeah, that's a little bit about Permanent. This is our public gallery, which I encourage everyone to take a look at. It's permanent.org/gallery. So you can see the kinds of materials that we have on Permanent currently, and you can see how yours might fit in as well.
Yeah, that's great that you can go and look. I need to go and spend some time over there. That's wonderful. Anything else that you want to share before we move on?
I don't think so. I think I just encourage everyone to try it. It's free. To have an account is free. You get a free gigabyte. We are also launching a new program called the Legacy Lab, which will help people who are brand new to personal digital archiving create their first archive and tell their first story on Permanent. And we are about to launch it tomorrow in our newsletter. And then folks can sign up and the program will run from the whole month of March. It's a 30-day course. Oh,
that's great. Wonderful. And I think for those that are listening, a lot of the B&H audience probably are professional photographers who have, a lifetime of photos that they've, maybe have in Lightroom or in Adobe or on multiple hard drives. But I think, getting your legacy and, creating a permanent archive of your materials, this Permanent is a great place for that, right? So, so thank you, Amanda. Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
And last but not least, it's kind of like we're going from video, home movies to permanent archives to what do we do with all those photos that we take every day?
Yeah, here to help.
Right? What's that?
We're here to help you.
Yes, Melissa is a wonderful person to work with. She works closely with a company that was called Good Ones, but Save Your Good Ones, but has renamed himself to Ollie, which is also a great name because it's a really cute little character that helps you organize all your photos on your digital photos on your phone. So, Melissa, why don't you tell us? Remind me, were you going to show something first, right? Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to share here. All right. Can you see Ollie?
Yes, there he is.
Awesome.
Hello, Ollie.
This is Ollie. He's our multitasking AI photo organizer octopus. Anyway, so I'm going to tell you about Ollie. I'm super excited. I am passionate about photos. Even prior to being on the founding team for the app, I've always been really passionate about telling my story through photos. Our origin story, I feel like I'm Marvel here, like a Marvel. Our origin story, we have 2 founders, Israel Shalom, he goes by Iz, and Aparna Pandey. They're both parents, and they needed a better way to share and enjoy their photos and really share their stories with their family because it was getting too overwhelming. Iz, ironically enough, comes from Google and Dropbox. And he's like, I can't believe we haven't figured out a way to do this. We're basically just encouraging people to buy more storage and just keep taking pictures and pictures, but there's no way to cull the photos down or to organize them, right? Aparna, her background is more of a corporate background, but she's worked with Disney and Mattel. She really leans into the whole parent market, and she realized that this was definitely something that needed to be done. They both had too many photos on their camera roll, so Good Ones was born. And we're now Ollie Photo App. We really wanted to dig into the AI part of the app. And so Ollie sort of heads that up. And it's really, as far as you're asking some of the people with vision for the future, you know, our mission is to help people tell their stories, right? Well, you can't do that unless you can find the photos to do that, or the videos. So currently right now we're just doing photos, but our vision is really to be able to tell our stories using all sorts of mediums, and to help you organize your videos and help you find the good ones like we do with the photos at the moment. So this is what I just talked about. Our photo libraries have developed into a mess, and it's so much noise. And really, like, I remember prior to Ollie, it's like I wanted to break up with my camera roll. I as a mom, you keep taking pictures and pictures and pictures, but it's like you never really dive in and start looking at them, because you're like, oh my God, it's a hot mess in there, and I don't really know where to start. So that's where the app comes in. It helps you find your best photos and saves the rest, and helps you delete the worst, right? Some people don't like to delete, some like to archive them or keep them. That is totally fine. I'm a deleter. I love to get rid of them. Nothing feels better than throwing photos away in the trash, if I have a better one, of course. And we're using advanced AI. And as far as like how the app has changed from Good Ones to now, like really our AI model has changed and developed. So basically what happens is Ollie lives on your device with your photos, and he learns what you like and what you don't like. You also were asking about challenges to some of the people. Like our biggest challenge really was, at the beginning, we sort of like fed information to what is a good photo and what is a not photo, but that's very subjective, right? What Kathy might think is a great photo of her and her dog, I might not like pet photos. I might not have a pet, you know, I might have a random pet photo and it might not be a good photo. Or what if I love taking pictures of food? Or, you know, I like to have every expression that my baby does. I don't have any more babies, but when they did, I wanted one of every expression, right? So it's very, very subjective. So basically now how the AI model works is that it recommends photos, you organize with Ollie, and then your suggestions actually help train Ollie on what you like and what you don't like. And it's trained locally on your device. That's one thing I want to point out about Ollie. What we're not is, we're not a storage service. So we do not store your pictures anywhere. We actually never even see your pictures, right? The AI model is working on your device locally. So it is extremely private. So if you're worried about other people seeing your photos, that is not going to happen with Ollie. All your data is kept private on your phone or on iCloud. Currently, we only work with iOS, so it's going to be Apple Photos. And if you have your iCloud connected to your Apple Photos, then we can organize your photos in your iCloud as well. And every time you make changes, like you'd tell Ollie, oh, I don't like that. You know, he chose a favorite, but it's not, it's trash. He's learning, and that information is updated on the AI model. This is just, these are actually my pictures. So this is just a snapshot of what I want. So when you open the app, when you open a month or open an album, it's going to give you what we call a batch, right? We're not going to give you all your photos at once. We're going to give you sort of batches, like 15 to 20 photos at a time. And as you can see, Ollie here, a filled heart is a favorite, an empty heart is keep, and then a trash is trash. So here Ollie has recommended. If I disagree, I can tap on the icon and it changes. Or if you're like me and you don't have great eyesight and I really want to see the picture full, I can actually tap on the photo and the whole image will pop up, and you can sort that way. If you agree with what Ollie says, you can just say looks great, approve, or as I mentioned, you can review one by one. But these are just some samples, and it just to point out. So here on the top, you see two photos of the houses. Notice they're not duplicates, right? That's another thing that we're not. We're not a duplicate finder. There are duplicate finders out there, and actually it's a free service with Apple Photos now. It's pretty great. You go into the utilities and it'll tell you if you have exact duplicates and you can merge them. What Ollie does, it finds photos that are similar, and then it tells you, okay, this one is the better one, to help you save time. So with the picture of the houses, that was my old house, the first one, Ollie thinks it's better, and there's two pictures that are similar. He's saying you can keep them, but they're not the best. I probably went ahead and trashed the other ones. So as you can see, that's sort of what you see here. And at the bottom on the second panel, you see my son. He's dressed up with his white jacket, and Ollie's saying let's favorite that one, and then the other three are just to keep. You can actually set it up so he encourages you to trash more than to keep more. You can set that up in the app. So there's different ways to do it, but really Ollie is learning, and the more you do it, the faster it becomes. One of the great things about Ollie is he also congratulates you along the way and lets you know the progress that you're doing, because it's really exciting to have somebody like, yes, you're doing a great job. So for example, this first screen here, I finished doing an album on this day, which is actually a great hack. And I know that photo managers love this hack. It's like the, daily delete challenge, where it will show you all the photos from that day, any year on your camera roll. So if you do it every day, if you go to the On This Day album and Ollie every day, and by the end of the year, your entire camera roll is going to be sorted. So on this day in particular, I sorted 95 photos, I trashed 27, and I favorited 67, right? And it gives you, and then right there's a prompt to empty the trash, meaning, okay, Melissa, you said you wanted to trash these, go ahead and trash them, because they're not trashed on your phone until you empty the trash. And that's pretty much how the app works. That's the link if you wanted to download from the App Store. If you want to reach out to us for whatever reason, you can reach out. One of the things that we love, we're still in the early, we've been, I guess it's been, what, Kathy, like over a year now that we've been live. Yeah.
Okay, just over a year,
live
right?
in the App Store was in April, right? So I'm talking about beta too, because we knew Kathy before, but it's been about a year, and one of the things we love is feedback from our users. We really use that to guide our app and what is working and what is not working, and what users want to see, because really we want to be able to create an app that's going to help everybody solve the problem of that clutter on their camera.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a user of Ollie. Just remind me, I got to get back in there and catch up, because it's been a busy couple of weeks since the first of the year, but it's and Ollie is really fun. I mean, I think the fact that you kind of use the word gamify it, but his little arms move and things like that. And then you get like little bursts of like congratulations and things. And it does make a difference. And it doesn't overwhelm you, because you're not looking at all the photos. And so I think you guys have done a great job in terms of that. And so a question I have for you is, what are some challenges that you had to overcome? Because it's not, again, the idea of this meeting too is for people to, a lot of times I think we interact with software or apps or companies, and we don't realize there's like these human beings behind the scenes that have worked really hard to keep solving problems and kind of creating a better product for you. And it's just fun to hear their stories a bit, I think.
So I think one of the first challenges we had to or are currently overcoming, or it's a constant struggle. It's like, what is a good photo, right? And how, because people will write back like, oh, you trashed this, but I really like that photo. But then our original AI model was like, okay, and I'm not the technical person on the team at all whatsoever, but like there's certain requirements, you tick off in the photo, then Ollie will be like, okay, that's a good photo, or that's a bad photo, right? So I think changing our AI model to sort of learn from what I'm picking was a challenge that we had to overcome, and we're constantly learning and making it better and making it stronger. For a couple of months, the AI was using data from our sorting, like the employee team, and now we're actually using data from the users. So that part is really exciting. Another challenge that we have is like, they always say like you have to meet your customer where they're at. We have, trying to find out like what is the best way, because this app will work if you don't have to do it every day, but like you have to think about it at least once in a while to turn the app on and to sort a couple of batches and to do it. So where is it that we meet the customers? Do they want a notification? Do they want emails? Do they want, like, how do we remind them, or where do they put it in their day? Like, what's prompting them to do it? Is it something they do at night? Is it something they do in the morning? One of the ways that we found is the best way is through our widget. We have a widget that you can download, and it's a little square on the phone, like, like a widget, like any other widget, and it shows a recent favorite. But what's great about it is that now whenever we're standing in line at Starbucks or in the car line at school, or we just have extra time, what do? We pick up our phone and we scroll, or we like try to get busy on our phones. So now when I pick up my phone, I see that photo of my kids or my family, and for a second I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And then I'm like, wait, I have a minute. So I tap on the widget and it takes me right into a batch, and I can sort. We found that people that have the widget sort 80 to 90% more than people that don't. So the widget has been helping us with that. But yeah, it's kind of like, how do we create that habit for people to sort of just, whether it's daily or weekly, twice a week?
That makes sense. That makes sense. The widget. I think that's the issue for lots of technology, right? There's so much technology that's been created to help us, but getting us, the consumer, first of all, to look for it, and then to actually adapt it as a habit is really, it's a challenge for any developer for anything, even with best intentions. Yeah.
Another fun thing, another surprise that we like, I deal with all the customers, right? I'm the customer facing person on the team. And, just the stories from people, like all the feedback that they've been giving us. Sure, we're addressing the overwhelm. Moms are so happy that finally they can like organize their photos and create photo books or hire a photo manager to do stuff for them. But it's like they needed to get rid of that initial clutter, right? But another thing is that it's very therapeutic. We have people saying like, I kind of look forward to my 2 to 5 minutes with Ollie every day to sort of like review the photos. And especially if like you've done a good job sorting, like it's 2024 now, I'm sorting pictures from 2015. My son is driving now, but I'm looking at pictures of him when he was little. And it's so nice to kind of like relive those moments. And it's very therapeutic for me. It's like, if I'm stressed out, I can do that. And I've heard similar stories from other people as well, that they really look forward to their 5 minutes with Ollie so that they can sort of like relive those memories because they were scared to open their phones before.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's great. That's a great concept. All right. Anything else you want to share before we see if we haven't had any questions yet? It's been a quiet group. So, but
Yes,
any other?
Anything else? Make sure to follow us on Instagram. We're at Ollie Photo App. We're always putting any new features we have or any contests, giveaways, stuff that we're doing, or any insights and user testimonials we shared on there. So that's a great way to keep tabs with us if we have anything new. Like I said, currently we're only in Apple. Who knows in the future that might change, and currently only photos, but that's something that definitely we're going to grow into.
I'm sure I'm sure that's a request from anybody who's not an Apple user, right? Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Amanda and Robert and Melissa, and those of you that have been joining us. It's been really fun to, again, don't see any questions, but I think it's just a great testimony to the importance of our visual memories. Right? Our visual memories matter. Again, this is a perfect audience. We tell our stories visually today, I think through, again, videos or through our photos, also the old fashioned way, written letters, different things like mementos, things that we care about. And it really matters to share those stories and memories. And these are 3 great different approaches to solve that problem. And so thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Next week, so this month of January on Tuesdays is Photo Managers Month with B&H event space. Next week, we'll be interviewing Jennifer Loomis, a very well-known professional photographer who actually has shifted her business to becoming a professional photo manager. And so she helps clients manage all of their photos. And she's going to talk about what that switch is like to go from being the person who's taking the photos of the client to actually helping the client, and how that evolved, how clients started asking her for help, and how she at first thought, why would I help you, into now a thriving business that she has. So that's next Tuesday. And then the following will end with a whole topic, fascinating topic on privacy, which is such an important issue today in the culture, and somebody who can really kind of give you some great insight. So Robert, Amanda, Melissa, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody.